In this video we'll be unboxing and taking a first look at the AirPods Max. Now this is a product which is dividing many people. Let's take a closer look and find out why. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So just for full disclosure, I have bought these. I paid £549 for them, which is a eye-watering amount of money. I am going to be doing a few videos testing the sound and giving you a real good demo of how the sound is with these, and also putting them head to head in another video with the Sony WH-1000 Mark IVs. Now, first impressions on the front of the box. As you can see, you've got the picture of the headphones. I don't think there's much denying that the headphones look absolutely stunning. I think there's also not much denying that this thing, which is called a smart case, is an absolute disaster. It looks like a purse and is just ridiculous. And believe me guys, when you see it in person, it doesn't get any better. So don't think that it's going to look any better once you take it out the box. Now, one thing that I'm very interested in checking out both in the short and in the long term is that headband, because that mesh, that cushion that sits above the head, that is super thin. Now I don't know why, but I assumed that it was going to be a lot thicker, but this thing is micro thin. I hope that you can see this in the video, and I'm just wondering how durable will that be. Now the bar that sits around it feels very strong and very rigid, but the actual mesh itself, well, it's very delicate. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that case. I certainly don't want to spend too much time doing it because it is absolutely disastrous. It is really just the worst thing. It doesn't even protect the headphones, it doesn't protect the headband at all, and with all the gaps, it doesn't really do anything. It is a smart case, and this feels very much like those smart iPad covers. It's almost exactly the same material, but it's an absolute disaster, and the majority of people that I've spoken to think that this is just a marketing ploy from Apple to try and maybe sell a better case later down the line. Now, it comes with these little ear cup protectors on, which are great, fine, no issues, get rid of those, and then you can get your first proper look at the actual headphones, and I do have to say, they are stunning to look at. One thing that surprised me straight away was the weight of these headphones. They are definitely more weighty than my Sony's, and I'll show you that in my comparison video, but certainly they were heavier than I expected them to be. But from what I've heard, and I'll tell you in a second, when you're actually wearing them, they don't feel that bad at all. They do have those removable cups, which I'm sure you've seen by now, and that means that you can swap those out at a later date, although as we're doing this video today in the beginning of January, those are not available as yet. But overall impressions and the look and feel of these headphones is stunning, first class. If you're wondering whether these are USB-C, well, sadly, no, they're not. They are Lightning port, and you get the Lightning port to USB-C cable in the box. As well as that, you get your normal Apple Made in California with how-to guide and stickers. Other than that, that's it. There is no charging brick, as we would obviously expect by now. One thing that caused a little bit confusion when these first came out was the smart case. Now, when you put them in the smart case, it automatically puts the headphones into low power mode. This means you're obviously saving battery. Now, it was thought originally that outside of the case, they would be in their full, ready-to-use state, and so therefore using battery even when not being used. However, Apple have clarified this and have said that after 5 minutes, it will go into almost like a medium-low state of power. Not quite as low as in the case. That takes another 72 hours outside of the case to put them into the lower mode where Bluetooth and things like that will switch off, but after 5 minutes of setting these down, it will go into a slightly lower mode, but we haven't tested that just yet. And just to make things even more confusing, if they're in the case after 18 hours, they'll go into what's known as ultra low power mode and save even more battery. That's something which obviously is a good thing. Anything that saves the battery that you've already charged up has got to be a benefit. So I've already mentioned about the first look and first impressions of these. They feel absolutely fantastic, and I think that they look amazing. I think that they look very unique, which is very Apple, but also very different, but also very stylish. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you like the look of them? The one thing that I would say though is, as robust and as solid as they feel, I think that they feel a little bit more fragile than some of the other headphones that I've had recently. Not only have we got that headband that I spoke about being ultra thin, and I think that if you caught that on something, then it would be a problem. But also the maneuvering, if you happen to sit on these, it just doesn't feel as much give as what there were in something like the Sony's. And again, I'll put a head-to-head test video with all of these things coming very soon. But just the feel of twisting them and things just feels a little bit more, I guess, fragile, even though they feel firm, which feels and sounds a little bit strange. I mentioned that you can swap out the ear cups for a number of different reasons. One, just to replace these with clean ones, or you can change them for a different colour and then create your own different style with different colour headphones. Now, the other benefit to this is that there doesn't seem to be any technology at all within the ear cups, and that means that these are going to be prone to being copied and third-party ones being produced very, very quickly, which will then offer you hopefully exactly the same benefit without the Apple cost. One thing that frustrated me I didn't have the enjoyment of was the automatic pairing as soon as you take them out of the case. It's meant to then, as soon as they come out of the case, pop up on the screen to say that they've been detected, and you can literally just one button press to pair. But I did it several times and it just didn't work. In the end I went into Bluetooth, where they were there in the other devices at the bottom, and I could just click on them and they paired with no problem at all. So I just don't know why it didn't work originally. There are no gesture controls with the AirPods Max. Instead, you have the digital crown, which controls volume, skip between tracks, answer and reject calls, and also activates Siri. And then you have the active noise cancellation button, which will scroll between active noise cancellation, transparency mode, which I'll show you brilliantly in another video, and also you can just turn that off completely. So my friends, in my next video I'll be giving you an active demo of how these sound using binaural microphones. Now that is something which I'm really looking forward to. It will give you an indication of the noise cancellation, the transparency mode, and also the spatial audio. But my first impressions with these are that they look and feel great, but there are some misgivings. The lack of gesture control is definitely one of them. The fact that they do feel a little bit fragile is another. But what's your thoughts on the first impression and the first look? Is this the right colour? Would you go for a different colour? And what do you want to know about the sound quality for the next video? Guys, thanks for watching this video as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and click the notification bell to get my next video first.